Hello, and welcome to What I Eat in a Day on a Mediterranean diet in Egypt. I'm so excited for this month's What I Eat in a Day because I've long been fascinated with Egypt, with the culture and the people, and someday I want to visit there and see the pyramids and go to all the museums. And I think it's going to be a really interesting food day as well. When I was researching what people in Egypt like to eat for breakfast, it seems that they prefer a savory meal instead of a sweet one. And a certain recipe kept popping up over and over again, so it seems like the most popular breakfast in Egypt is something called ful, or Ful Madames. And it's ful, F-U-L. And it's a fava bean dish, so it's either a stew or mashed fava beans. It's made with some Mediterranean spices like cumin and garlic and things like that. And I think it's gonna be really easy to make and really tasty. And it's interesting because one of the things on the Mediterranean diet in my research I found that if you add some beans to your breakfast, they work for you all day long. So it's a good idea to try to add some kind of bean dish to your breakfast or even a little side to your breakfast. You can either make this recipe with dried fava beans that you soak overnight and then boil them to soften them, or you can find canned fava beans as well. But here in New Jersey, fava beans are at their peak season right now. So I'm gonna use fresh fava beans. They really only take about 3 minutes when you boil them, and it's gonna be so easy to make. And I just think this is gonna be a really interesting, tasty breakfast because when you travel around the world for these What I Eat in a Days, all these countries on the Mediterranean, they all follow the same health principles of what types of foods that they eat and what kind of lifestyle. They like to be social and they like to get activity, and then they eat the same kind of basic food groups, but they all have their own way of jazzing things up. So they have their own herbs and spices. So when you eat in Italy, whether you eat in Greece, whether you eat in Egypt, you're gonna have a different experience. So you're never gonna get bored on the Mediterranean diet. So I think this is gonna be a really fun breakfast, and I think it's gonna be a really interesting day of food. So come on with me. Now fava beans come in these large pods, and then when you pop them out, they're beans that are still in another outer coating. So what we're gonna do is take these and boil them for about 3 minutes. They float and then you know they're done, and then there's a bean inside these. So once they're boiled, we'll pop that bean out, and that's what we're gonna work with. Here are the fava beans that now have been cooked and popped out of their shells. We're going to mash them up a little bit, and then we're going to add some crushed garlic, some ground cumin, some salt, some pepper, and some red pepper flakes. And then we'll garnish everything on the top with some tomato and some lemon wedges. Here we go. We've mashed up the fava beans with a fork. I left them a little chunky. I didn't want them to be too smooth. And then I'm going to add in the garlic, salt, red pepper, black pepper, and cumin. Give that a little stir. Just kind of fold it in. Combine it. And now I'm going to drizzle over some extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to garnish it with some chopped tomato, just in the center. And now you can garnish this however you want. I'm going to put in a little lemon wedge here. You can put some cooked egg, you could put scallions, some cucumber slices, whatever you like. I'm just going to keep it simple. I think that looks like a really interesting, delicious breakfast. It's time for lunch. Lunch in Egypt is a social activity. So they may go to a cafe or a coffee house and have little picky kinds of foods and little small plates. So what I've done is I've made a grazing table with some of the favorites that would be eaten in Egypt. So I've made some baba ghanoush, which I have a recipe for I did the other day, and I will link to it up here. And I've made some hummus, which I've shown you many times on this channel how to make. So I'll put a link to that also in the description box below. But let me show you what I've laid out. I took some fruits and vegetables and some dippy things and some flatbreads and some herbs and some olive oil and all good things. I think it'll make a really interesting Egyptian lunch. For dinner this evening, we're making a really fun festive dish called Koshary or Koshary. I've heard it said both ways. Now it's a fascinating combination of lentils, rice, pasta, and chickpeas with some spices and some chili peppers. It sounds so fascinating to me. I can't wait to try it. Now this is the kind of dish that you could make a big fun casserole out of and serve a lot of people, or you could use it to use up maybe some of the short ends of your pantry staples and make a small intimate dinner. So I'm only making it for two. I'm gonna try to make an elegant presentation out of it. Can't wait to try it. It just sounds so interesting to me. So come on and let's make Koshary. In this pan, I have the lentils and the rice cooking away with some salt and pepper and cumin. I'm gonna put the lid back on that. In this pot, I have tomato sauce that's very fragrant with all kinds of herbs and spices. I'll list them out in the description below if you want to make that. I'm frying some crispy onions in this pan because everything gets topped with some crispy onions. And in this pot, we're cooking the elbow macaroni. And here I made a vinaigrette with vinegar, olive oil, some green chili pepper, some cilantro, salt, pepper, ground cumin, some coriander, and some garlic. And now it's time to assemble. Put the rice and lentils down first. We drizzle that with the vinaigrette. We add a layer of the cooked pasta. We spoon on the tomato sauce. It's a very thick tomato sauce. We add the chickpeas to the top. Sprinkle on the fresh cilantro. And we top everything with the crispy onions. And there you have it. Koshary. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our tour of Egyptian cuisine today, and I hope you try some of these recipes for yourself. Now, in the comments down below, let me know where you want me to go next. So each month we're doing a different country, and we've done Greece, we've done Morocco, the south of France, and now we've done Egypt. There are still plenty of Mediterranean countries and islands, and I think it'll be fun if you get to choose. So put down in the comments below, and I can't wait to see what you come up with, and we'll go there for next month. Now please share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Happy eating.